Hello and welcome to the PackHub's last packaging webinar of the year. My name is Paul Jenkins, Managing Director of UK Packaging Innovation Consultancy, the PackHub. Hopefully a few of you already know me, but those that don't, the first part of the agenda will be just covering off in 60 seconds or so who the PackHub are and what our innovation zone is. We're then very much going to be talking about packaging startups. We've got lots of innovations from our Innovation Zone platform to show you. They will be interspersed in three sections between three startup interviews. Angela Ivanova from LAM'ON, James Claypole from the University of Swansea, and Isaac Roan from W Cycle. So please get your questions in. We will be answering these offline because I think sometimes packaging startup questions could be quite technical, and I won't necessarily have all the information to hand. So we'll make sure all your questions get answered thoroughly and properly offline, but please make sure you get those questions in. You will get a link to view this webinar tomorrow, and all our content is available on youtube.com/thepackup. And you might also want to follow us on LinkedIn, which is you can follow us just by finding @thepackup. So the PackHub is a leading packaging innovation consultancy offering four main services of packaging management and technical support. We run events. Clearly, we run webinars and online, but we also do in-person events. We have our Innovation Zone platform, which we'll cover off in a second, and we market various reports. So we've done a refill report, global packaging trends, and the most recent one is packaging startup, which has just been launched, and I'll be covering that off at the end, but all information is available at thepackup.com on that. So the Innovation Zone platform is a searchable and easy to use platform with over or nearly 8,000 packaging initiatives. We upload 25 a week, 5 a day, which will be increasing by 10% in the new year. And these are very much from pre-concept market launches to those you might find on a supermarket shelf. So really across in development through to something which is available commercially. Very much a global view and a really good way for get inspiration and ideas, and a great way for making sure your team keeps up to speed with what's going on and what your competitors are doing. So without further ado, let's look at some new packaging startup innovations you need to know, part 1. Manchester startup is launching a sustainable and reusable packaging and return solution for e-commerce retailers. The solution from NoBox is looking to eliminate single-use packaging and claims it reduces CO2 emissions by 87% by just the second use. The reusable pouch is made from recycled PET and is currently available to manufacturers and retailers in 3 sizes, depending on the size and quantity of items dispatched. NoBox uses its proprietary web application to track the status and environmental impact of the packaging. NoBox has secured a partnership with Parcels Lockers firm InPost, which has a UK network of more than 5,000 locations. Customers receive a QR code and drop off their returned item or empty reusable packaging at any of the 24/7 InPost lockers. The pouch is currently being used in a pilot scheme by a sustainable active brand, which plans for a wider rollout later this year. It is reported that microwave food packaging is a $17 billion global market, which has evolved over the years with solutions designed to deliver more functionality and user convenience in this format. Folio Materials, a Bedford, MA startup, has announced the development of the world's first ever paper microwave Susceptor food packaging. Current crisping Susceptor sleeves are made from aluminium bonding, bonded to plastic. It is reported that some consumers still avoid microwave cooking in plastic packaging, as well as striving for more sustainable products. Folio Materials has created the world's first ever 100% paper microwave food Susceptor with a patented plant-based coating. The coating is popular with brand owners because it improves food quality by soaking up grease, oil, and water. Consumers are also happy due to the delivery of crispier, better food texture. The business is looking for manufacturing and brand owner partners to work with as they look to scale manufacturing. Made Right is an Israeli startup that is developing sustainable materials from fungi. The company's holistic approach brings together fungi and organic waste to create biodegradable materials, the first of which will be a sustainable alternative to plastic that is suitable for rigid packaging. The company takes organic side streams from the food, agriculture, and biotechnology industries that would otherwise be sent to landfill or downcycled into feed. In a controlled, solid-state fermentation process, fungi turns this would-be waste into biomass. The startup is working with a few fungal species and selects them depending on the organic waste substrate used. Through several biotechnological steps, Made Right then extracts materials from the biomass to mix it with plastics, either fossil plastics or bioplastics, to create pellets. The company sees Europe as its go-to market, though the company will be required to pass the stringent European Commission's food contact materials regulations. Celergy, an Denmark-based biotechnology company, is developing innovative and sustainable biocellulose packaging. The company's mission is to replace single-use plastics with sustainable alternatives with minimal environmental impact. Using a patented fermentation process, Celergy transforms agricultural waste into a flexible and robust biocellulose material called EcoFlexi. This biodegradable material is designed to replace traditional plastic films used in various packaging applications, such as food packaging and personal care products. EcoFlexi offers several environmental advantages over conventional plastic packaging. It is home compostable, biodegradable, and non-toxic. The production process also uses agricultural waste, promoting a circular economy and reducing waste. A shopping center in Santiago, Chile, has become the first self-service point for refilling cleaning product containers. Startup EcoCarga has introduced a machine at a shopping center that will offer certified quality and biodegradable products, liquid detergent, fabric softener, and dishwasher at prices of up to 50% cheaper than in traditional outlets. The products are offered in 3-litre bottles, thus promoting responsible consumption, the reduction of plastic containers, and savings for shoppers. Each pack contains a QR code that allows the traceability of each customer's consumption and the plastic savings made when using EcoCarga. A spokesperson for EcoCarga said that the strategy is to eliminate all single-use plastic containers in the basic consumption basket of household cleaning products, reducing plastic in the supply chain, and bring customers the option of sustainable consumption without additional costs and sacrificing quality. Kajkawa are an Italian Ecuadorian team of designers who have embarked in social entrepreneurship to develop new biodegradable, compostable, and sustainable materials using agricultural waste from cocoa crops. In the roughly simple manufacturing process, still based on a linear production chain, around 50% of the harvested cocoa pod is used to make chocolate, whilst the rest goes to waste. These waste products, including cocoa bean shells, are substantially made of vegetal fibers and thus have interesting thermal and mechanical properties suitable for different applications. They have experimented with and are developing new methods to integrate such waste into new environmentally conscious materials, saving the raw material from damping or incineration. They have produced bioplastic sheets with interesting aesthetics and properties such as a smooth or textured surface to the touch, light transparency, and a semi-matte or glossy appearance. These bioplastic sheets, produced in rolls, can be cut or thermoformed. I'm very pleased to have Angela Ivanova from LAM'ON with me today. Welcome to our webinar, Angela.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's such a pleasure.
Excellent. Thank you. Well, we're here to learn a bit more about some startups. So can you tell me a bit about, first of all, about your background and what inspired you to start LAM'ON?
Yeah, well, it's a little wild of a journey. Most of my life I've been like an environmental enthusiast and like animal and environmental protection and etc. But at some point I was in about between 2020 and 2018, I've been working in print and pre-press, which meant that I've been using a lot of plastic in my industry, meaning I've been using laminating film for paper and cardboard in order to give our end customer back then the product they are looking for, because a lot of the advertising materials are actually being laminated with fossil-based, petroleum-based laminating films, which means that once you laminate the paper, you can't recycle it anymore because it's already contaminated with plastic. So at some point, I was like, okay, how is the industry that I'm super involved in such a big polluter when it comes to the environment? And of course, our bodies are already super filled with plastics. We've been speaking about it for such a long time, but we've been speaking because it's true. I was lucky enough actually to have a dear friend of mine that was very much involved in print and pre-press as well, Gergana, currently the co-founder of LAM'ON as well. So at some point in 2017, we were speaking about purchasing a sustainable solution for our project and our end customers, so we can just at least try and maybe mitigate the entire issue that is coming from this industry. Imagine our surprise when we understood that there is no such product on the market existing in the full meaning of it, because a lot of products were out there, but they were either petroleum based mixed with starch, so they're dissolving, but just like 60% of them. The other 40% are still becoming plastic nanoparticles, etc. And we started digging in, why doesn't that exist? Lucky for us, I was super involved in the EIT community back then. EIT is the Institute of Innovation and Technology, European Institute of Innovation and Technology. And slowly but surely, we realized that we can actually dive into acceleration and different clean tech webinars and applications, so we can see, validate the need and the niche for this product, and of course, validate our capability for myself and Gergana to work together and actually start building something. So yeah, it was very natural. It was from the customer and point of view, we just decided to start making the product itself.
Okay, and how did you come up with the idea, the innovation, the unique point of difference? I mean, it sounds amazing, but how did you do it? You know, what was the process?
Yep. Well, of course, we were having this missing link. That was Philip, Associate Professor Philip Ublikov. Is now the third person in the company, co-founder all together with us ever since 2018. So how did we actually find out that he exists and that this solution can actually be implemented in the industry? First off, we were starting to read a lot about biopolymers and what is the difference between different polymers. At some point, we ended up finding Philip's name in scientific documents. And it was like, okay, this is a Bulgarian person. We started looking for him and other polymer experts from the Bulgarian Academy of Science. And we were pointed to Philip by reaching out to different contacts. Surely Philip is from the Bulgarian Academy of Science, but as young startup, of course, we got our founders agreement regarding the innovation and that it stays in our company, and that we will do our best to make it happen and to make this bridge between science and business, because Gergana and I are more in the business part of everything, of the products, and Philip was on the scientific part, and it was very nice to see how things can actually buckle up and start fixing an actual issue, because a lot of innovations stay in scientific documents and in some websites and then don't get developed in the industrial scale.
Okay, so I think you've almost started answering this question, but what sort of challenges did you face whilst establishing and growing LAM'ON, you know, and how did you try and overcome them?
Well, the first one was surely finding Philip, because unfortunately, in Bulgaria, science-based work is not very well paid. And it is just now for the past 2 years, let's say, that businesses are trying to team up with the research departments of everything and have their own research department and develop more and more portfolios. But apart from that, it was very hard for us to reach out and to gain investments. Having a manufacturing company means that you have a slower return of investment, which is riskier for investors. And I understand that this is the case. I mean, it is a lot easier, the brackets, to invest in a software or something that you can see have its return on investment like in a year or something. But building machines, being super involved with people that are operating the machines and having the risk of the research and development of the portfolio itself is it's not so easy for an investor to decide to dive into this. And this is why we were going to so many accelerators throughout the years, but gladly we won the trust of 2 angel investors in 2020 here in Bulgaria, Bulgarian-based people that are philanthropists and managers of companies from years back. And they had such a great expertise that they pushed us to dream even bigger and starting to try more and more to gain more and more investment. And this is how we ended up applying to the EIC accelerator, which is actually currently ongoing. We gladly won the grant, and it is actually ending in 5 months or something like this. And I can gladly say that we've reached our milestones for the past 18 months or so.
Okay, so where are you in your journey? I mean, is it prototypes, pilots? Where are you with that?
Currently piloting. We want to start working 24/7 by March, meaning that we are ongoing first pilot, official paid pilot tests with our customers in order to receive final feedback if there is any, because yes, there is a foil for packaging, but it has different features like the properties regarding the different machines that we will use. Maybe have more slip, being more glossy or something. So there are these tiny little things that we need to balance with our customers. But yeah, we are at the final stage. We are preparing to launch officially in the next 2 months, expand the team even further, prepare for another investment round, of course, because we see the market potential and we are super focused to double and triple even the manufacturing volume, because we see that there are a lot of companies that are willing to change. And as much as we double and triple and expand the production, the lower the price can go, because we are super competitive to the petroleum-based foils that are currently used. But surely we cannot be, because our raw material is more expensive to begin with. So we make our certain ways to reach our customers, and we are aiming and lobbying, even if I can say that, for more and more regulations regarding the polluting plastics.
Okay. And my last question you kind of answered, which is what I was going to say, what's next for LAM'ON, but it sounds like you've got very exciting 2024 coming up.
Well, we are, but surely we have the patents ongoing, we have certifications ongoing. A part of expanding the team, we are looking for our options to either license or mirror our factories in different continents. So there is a lot more to come. We have our ocean biodegradable foil that we would want to further develop in order to tackle different areas, especially in Asia. You know how polluting they are regarding our oceans. We have a lot of more products to add to our portfolio, so the more to come. Really, we are super excited. Our R&D won't stop with just those 2 products that we currently have, but surely we are very happy. And of course, yeah, I'm excited because we've been in a wild journey with a lot of risks and a lot of sleepless nights for the past 5 years, and I'm really happy to be here speaking with you, and surely to be able to say, hey, we're launching soon.
Yeah, exciting times and fighting talk from you. So really look forward to seeing the updates throughout 2024 for your successes. Angela from LAM'ON, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
New packaging startup innovations you need to know, part 2. Breku is an Estonian startup that has developed an innovative protective packaging product alternative to PE bubble wrap. The company's product is made from sustainable wooden springs. They have now announced that they have received funding of nearly 9 million euros, made up of grants from the European Innovation Council and investments from private sector investors. The company's primary objective with this new funding is to advance its chemical-free and compostable packaging material technology, establish its first factory, and expand production on a global scale. Breku specializes in creating sustainable, protective, and entirely natural packaging materials with a reported low CO2 footprint to address the pressing issue of packaging waste ending up in landfills and nature. LAM'ON is a Finnish startup that manufactures a fully biodegradable, recyclable, and even edible biofoam designed to replace expanded polystyrene for product protection. LAM'ON is a spin-off from Aalto University, Finland, and is supported by Chilean paper and pulp company CMPC. Made from wood or agricultural waste, LAM'ON biofoam is patented and has a unique directional strength, achieving exceptional strength with minimal weight, providing robustness without excess weight. Being based on cellulose, LAM'ON can be easily recycled alongside cardboard, ensuring a fully circular life cycle for packaging. Being a dust-free and soft biofoam is reported to create the perfect scratch protection, and with the post-processing, a premium finish can be added for a luxurious touch. Earlier in 2023, the company raised a €1 million seed round to develop and scale up the technology. A London-based startup called Pulpatronics has developed a chipless, metal-free, paper-only version of an RFID, radio frequency identification tag, a type of electronic tracker that is attached to products and which is most commonly found in clothing stores but does have packaging applications. The team of 4 design graduates from London's Royal College of Art came up with an alternative RFID design that requires no other material than paper. They use a laser to mark a circuit onto its surface, with the laser settings turned not to cut or burn the paper, but to change its chemical composition to make it conductive. As the circuit is carbon-based, the tag can be recycled with household waste as easily as a piece of paper marked with a pencil scrawl. So far, Pulpatronics' paper RFID tag has passed its first round of testing, where the technology has found to match the performance of a copper-based control RFID tag. Purcell, a startup based in Santa Cruz, California, has announced the launch of the M1 dispenser, which it says is an innovative and practical bulk food dispenser. Shoppers can access a diverse selection of foods, from chips and cookies to grains, nuts, dried fruits, spices, and confectionaries. Customers can dispense their required quantity, eliminating food waste and saving money. At the heart of the M1 dispenser is a state-of-the-art technology. Equipped with automatic product identification and portion control, it ensures a hygienic and convenient shopping experience. Customers can simply dispense their desired product, and the M1 dispenser prints the product information. The company says that the M1 dispenser helps tackle the global plastic pollution problem head-on, and says that small changes in our consumption habits can have a significant impact, with the M1 dispenser being a move towards a more sustainable future. CleanHub is a Copenhagen-based startup that has developed a digital return system for reusable packaging. Their returnable packaging system, called Tap and Reuse, does not require the customer to download an app or pay a deposit. The customer taps their payment card on the CleanHub payment device, and the cup or bowl is registered to that card and lets the user borrow the packaging for free for up to 10 days. They then return them to any partner in the CleanHub network. The system works with any card, including Apple and Google Pay. Each container comes with an RFID chip for easy tracking. They are expected to be reused around 300 times, although that is very ambitious, and are carbon positive after 10 uses. At the end of their useful life, they are recycled into new plastic cups and containers. They currently operate with more than 140 partners in 8 cities in Denmark, as well as Ibiza. Pakkerang is a fast-growing, government-backed startup from Oslo, Norway. They are suppliers of innovative reusable packaging and transport ecosystems. Their goal is to significantly reduce the environmental impact of transport by replacing single-use packaging with more financially sustainable solutions. The reusable packaging system works in the following way. When customers buy a product online, they can choose to have it delivered in a Pakkerang bag. After delivery, the customer can return their bag at a convenient collection point. Customers earn rewards and discounts as they return the reusable bags. If the bags are not returned within 2 weeks, the customer then has to pay for them. The bags are made from polyester, and each of the company's medium-sized bags is made from 15 recycled bottles and is expected to be reused over 100 times. Again, quite ambitious, even despite very high potential return rates. I'm now joined by James Capel, entrepreneurial lead at University of Swansea, who's got a rather interesting new innovation that we will be talking about. So, hi, James, and welcome to our podcast.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
So, tell us all about your new innovation.
Yeah, so essentially, our technology is all about separating electronics. So we've come up with a way to separate the electronics from the bulk of the packaging waste. This means that we can maintain the sort of monomaterial construction required to increase the value of the recycler, but we can still have all the benefits of smart packaging.
Excellent. So you kind of answered that question, but so how does that sort of benefit sort of industry in terms of sustainability or ease of use,
so
whatever it might be?
Yeah, so essentially it does very much two things. So we can have it allows us to combine smart packaging and the idea of the whole monomaterial packaging for obviously as soon as you put things like smart packaging to the packaging, you've got to work out how you get that off. Otherwise, you're kind of diverging from that monomaterial approach, which obviously reduces the value of the recyclate if you kind of go away from monomaterial. So, but then if you've got monomaterial, you can't have smart packaging, which and all the benefits that provides in terms of supply chain optimization and consumer interaction. So what we're trying to do is we've come up with a way we can essentially have both, have our cake and eat it, so to speak.
Excellent. And where are you in the development? Is it sort of a prototype stage, or are you speaking to companies, brands, or?
Yeah, so we're at kind of a little bit before prototype stage, really. We are, I guess, ideation, I think, is the term, but we've tested this technology in terms of electronics. So my background is more wearable technology and printed electronics. So we know this works in an electronics sector. We know how it works in terms of recycling the electronics itself, and we're trying to expand out where we can where this technology can go into things like smart packaging. So we're looking for people we can work with to actually really develop this and prototype this technology and really take it forward.
Excellent. And what kind of applications are you anticipating in terms of sort of product categories?
Generally, we were looking down the line of potentially high value, more like luxury packaging, where we've got a bit more scope to play with electronics and things like that, where the margins are slightly better and slightly more forgiving to have gives us the option to prototype essentially and pilot trial on a smaller scale, rather than we're not going to turn around and say this is going to be pennies cheap RFID tags straight off the bat, because it takes time to build that kind of scale. So we're not at the kind of scale where we're going to have pennies for costs and things like that. So it will take time, and that's why maybe that kind of higher value area gives us a bit more scope to do more and explore.
Okay. Okay. So what kind of challenges have you had in your journey so far, and sort of how have you sort of overcome them? It's such a hard job being a developer. I'm sure you must have had a few hurdles along the way.
Yeah, I guess one of the big challenges is where we are now is really finding the people to work with to take this forward, and really securing people who are really genuinely interested in taking this forward. And in terms of going forward, the other real big challenge that we've come up with is recycling. So for us, getting it back, recovering, separating the electronics, separating the material in terms of manufacturing waste is quite straightforward. It's easy to get material back when you know where it's going. It's as soon as it gets into the hands of that end user, that consumer, how we establish things like deposit recycling or take back schemes and things like that. That is a real challenge in terms of what that is going to look like and how that's going to look, or how this technology might integrate then with existing waste streams in a way that's the least invasive.
Yeah. Okay. And I should have asked this right at the very beginning, actually. But so how did the idea come about? I mean, what was the sort of, was there a light bulb moment, or was it part of a project brief initially, or how?
No, it was very much it was kind of a light bulb moment, I
Excellent.
think. Which makes it quite interesting, really. We'd actually been working on a wearable technology project where we produced heated clothing for Olympics. So it's completely different to smart packaging in pretty much every single way, except for the fact that we were creating like vast quantities of electronic waste, essentially, as a process of this. And it came up time and again as to, well, what happens when you're done? What happens to all this electronics when you're finished with it? And textiles is a particular challenge because you put electronic waste into textiles, you're going to destroy the textiles to get the precious metals back. But in that way, it's no different to the packaging. You put electronics into the packaging, you'll destroy the packaging to get the precious metals back because that's where the value is. And we were trying to come up with, I sat down and we tried to come up with a way that was better, basically, a way that was more sustainable, that we could get the electronics back without kind of destroying everything else in the process.
Excellent. And in our previous conversations, you've mentioned that the plan is to spin out from the University of Swansea. So exciting times, it sounds like, for 2024. Can you tell us sort of what's next for your innovation, and what sort of plans you have going forward?
Yeah, so we've been supported by Innovate UK through their IKEA Explore program. And they've been helping us a lot and giving me a lot of training as a researcher with very little entrepreneurial experience to actually understand the business world. So we're hoping to continue on that journey, essentially, and have a official company sometime in the first half of the new year, really.
Excellent. Exciting times indeed. And we look forward to reporting that back in our innovation zone next year. So James Claypole, thank you very much for your time.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for having me.
New packaging startup innovations you need to know, part 3. Con de Vuelta is a Chilean startup that supplies a sustainable reusable packaging service for restaurant delivery. The service works by subscription and is being touted as the ideal solution to help venues to comply with the single-use plastics law that will come into force in Chile in August next year. After use, the customer returns the reusable container to one of their pink collection stations, after which they are taken to the Con de Vuelta washing centre located in Santiago. There they are cleaned and sanitized to ensure that they are in optimal condition for reuse. The containers are expected to last for around 200 reuses, and CO2 emissions are reduced by 30% compared to conventional packaging. It is not clear how many reuses will be required to achieve this. They currently work with 5 restaurants in Santiago and plan to expand to cover 16 by the end of 2023, and with an eye towards other regions. The Fortuna cooler was invented in a fishing village in the Philippines, which began as a graduate school project to improve local fish packaging. The mission was to find an alternative to the industry standard EPS, expanded polystyrene box, used for fish and seafood. The solution the team came up with was the Fortuna cooler. The cooler is insulated with upcycled coconut husk waste and lined with recycled synthetics. It is reported as more durable and insulative than plastic foam alternatives and competes on both price and performance. Thoughtful design ensures that it integrates into existing supply chains, which makes it easy for suppliers to replace EPS boxes. Fortuna coolers also pack flat for easy shipping and storage. The company sources leftover coconut husks from small-scale farmers in the Philippines. This provides them with an additional income source and creates rural jobs supporting agricultural communities. Life Supplies is a London-based refill scheme that offers a zero-waste, sustainable and refillable antiperspirant deodorant. The scheme works through the use of lifetime bottles. Shoppers purchase the bottle, which has reportedly been designed to look good in the bathroom and not just on a supermarket shelf. Life Supplies will fill the bottle with a month's supply of plant-based formula and deliver it to the customer's door. Customers can switch to the Life Supplies refill system, which is claimed to cut plastic waste by up to 98%. Life Supplies delivers refills in recyclable paper-based cartons, each containing content that lasts for months, meaning fewer deliveries. It is claimed that by using Life Supplies refill system, customers can reduce their plastic waste and contribute to a more sustainable, circular future. Symbiotech is a British startup hoping to revolutionise the production of packaging and medical devices currently made from single-use plastic. After seeing the extent of single-use medical plastic waste whilst on placement in the NHS, the founder started Symbiotech. They discovered that every year in the UK alone, 73 million inhalers are distributed and only 0.5% ever get recycled. Cosmetics packaging is also targeted as a potential market. Symbiotech uses seaweed, a renewable material source which sequesters carbon as it grows. Unlike other bioplastics, Symbiotech's material is completely home compostable. The production process also reportedly requires little energy compared to petroleum-based plastics or existing bioplastics that often require temperatures of 170 degrees Celsius at least. Seaweed production requires no pesticides and no special care is required. There is no harm to biodiversity or habitats, nor any harmful byproducts. There are also opportunities for those communities that rely on seaweed cultivation. WeCarry is a Munich-based startup that supplies bakeries and their customers with reusable bags in a smart deposit-based format. The customer can choose the WeCarry reusable bag at the counter, available in 2 sizes for a deposit of €1 each. The customer can use their WeCarry reusable bag for shopping as often and as long as they want. The customer can receive their deposit payment on return of the bag at any participating partner. A WeCarry reusable bag can replace up to 300 disposable paper bags and are made of 100% cotton. WeCarry is reported as more sustainable than usual disposable packaging. With every reusable bag, the shopper actively saves energy, water, and wood. For bakeries, WeCarry bags strengthen the bakery's sustainability image whilst also anticipating potential legal tightening of the packaging law on single-use packaging. WeCarry also organise the collection and cleaning of bags as required. Convoy was launched in 2019 across Australia and New Zealand. Through its subsidiary Catch, it has developed a passive tracking beacon and software system to track the location of beer kegs at all times across the globe. For breweries, this means scan-free tracking of all kegs and information about how long kegs stay at various locations. The company's kegs are also product and batch capable, allowing customers to drill into their data and learn more about which products and batches perform best. The Catch device was built based on a deep understanding of kegs and supply chain. The Catch team has 20+ years of experience in keg management through founding Convoy and previous pooling businesses. As well as its tracking technology, Convoy also offers short or long-term keg leasing and keg repair and maintenance. Hello, I'm joined by Isaac Rome, CEO of WCycle. Hello, Isaac, how are you doing today?
Paul, I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you very much. And thank you very much for joining our webinar today. Very keen to find out a bit more about WCycle. So can you tell us a bit more about what WCycle is and what you do?
Sure. So WCycle is a clean tech or impact or food tech. Everyone calls it something else company. We provide solutions, especially in the food packaging area for compostable, recyclable solutions for packaging, obviously. We've been around for a few years. Most of those years have been spent in developing specific solutions, patents, etc. And this year, 2024, we are planning our breakout year into the market. I'm hoping this will be our year. At least the investment in funds in marketing, sales, and so on. We're moving down that route now at last.
Excellent, exciting times ahead, it would seem. So, can you tell us a little bit more about how you started? Was there like a light bulb moment, or how did it all come about?
So I'll admit I'm not the founder. Our founder is the CTO. He started this in end of 2016. He comes from the packaging world. He's over 20 years of experience in the packaging, in environmental friendly packaging and so on. I'm not sure a light bulb is the right thing, but he basically came to the decision or the conclusion that the solutions that the world are looking for will be paper-based, which we see today. He made the right decision at the time. Everyone's moving a lot of plastic to paper. And based on that, he started doing some research and managed to put the chemistry together for our first patent around food packaging, which was basically anti-water, anti-oil, sugar cane material.
Mm-hmm.
So this first patent has been used, for instance, by Virgin Airways for the last 18 months as their casseroles in their flights. To our knowledge, we are the only company without any, which has a 100% compostable solution for airlines, for hot meals, oily, hot, watery meals, so they don't actually drip onto your lap. Without using plastic or aluminium or liners in the product. So that was where we started off. The last few years we've been working to put together solutions for not only those, but to reduce certain materials that have been deemed less friendly in our solutions. We're now coming out with a new product which for the fast food industry, which doesn't have a material called PFAS, which is a kind of fluor in it, and that's coming out now in the processes of moving it from the lab to production. We hit some hiccups. We're now working them out, all the kinks and so on, and we should be live and ready by the beginning of the year to go into production.
Okay. And so your markets, obviously, the airline industry is a big sort of, I guess, sort of food service products, is it? Or
so the airline industry is a big one because it's basically the epitome of difficultness. It's a very, very difficult market, both as a market and as what they require from the material. So if you think about it, it's food that the majority goes through a freezing stage, a heating phase. The heating is done in an oven or in a what's it called, a steam oven.
Mhm.
for half an hour. And those are very, and together with oil and water, that becomes a very, very strenuous environment. So we start off there because we saw our differentiator in being able to cater for those kind of environments. And as I said, today we're moving more into the commodity world, restaurants, takeaways, and so on. And that's mainly because we found a solution for the oil barrier without using PFAS, which is something that's being required, especially in the US, and why that market which was quite a big market. So as far as I recall, it was 15% of the market was already sugarcane based, and that dropped to about 3 or 4% because of the PFAS ban. And that's basically given us a entry point to the market because we now have the solution for that without having PFAS. So we're kind of not moving away from the airlines, obviously, but we're adding to the airlines industry a bigger and more commoditized market, and I think easier to work with.
Okay. And so what kind of challenges have you faced whilst establishing and growing WCycle? I mean, every startup is faced with a daily headache of challenges. I mean, can you share some of the things that you've had to some of the hurdles that you've had to jump over?
Sure. So of course, obviously, the development of anything that's chemical, the try and error, is something that I come from the high tech industry, which is, you need to write a certain function, and you write it and you debug it, and it's fixed, and that's kind of it. It's relatively simple. When you're talking about chemistry, there's so much trial and error, and sometimes it's just magic that happens, and you need to work out why you actually managed to make that work. So that's one of the first interesting things for me, which was also different than what I was used to in the past. The second challenge is obviously dealing with the food industry, or especially food manufacturers, or the regulatory requirements, even just the concept of moving away from plastic, while kind of they know they want to, they know they have to, but making that little change in the mindset, which says, well, you know what, it's not going to be exactly the same, because it isn't. No material is exactly the same as anything else, and making that change in mentality has been a challenge for us, and I'm sure for everyone else. The sales cycles in that industry are extremely long. Testing phases, pilots, it can take 3 years to take a product to market easily. And for a startup company that needs to, the funding is usually a big issue. Having 3 years of sales cycle is difficult.
Absolutely. Okay. So my last question was going to be around about what's around the corner, what's next for WCycle. But you've already hinted that 2024 is going to be a big year. So can you tell us a bit more about that?
I have. So obviously, as I said before, around the corner for us is a product called SP0, which means zero PFAS, zero plastic, basically a zero footprint in the market. So that's how we're branding it. That's around the corner, and our hope is that that's what's going to push the company to the next level in 2024, both in sales and product and branding and everything that you can think of.
Excellent. Well, I look forward to speaking to you this time next year when you've absolutely
Sure.
smashed it.
Need to be careful.
Yeah. So, thank you, Isaac Rome, CEO of WCycle. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
In terms of questions, I mean, answering questions about specific startups when they are not here to answer them is not always easy. It can be quite technical and very specific. So we will collate all your questions and feedback the answers in time before the Christmas break. In terms of our next webinars for 2024, Thursday the 25th of January, Thursday the 29th of February, Wednesday the 27th of March. So pencil them into your diaries and we'll have more information as soon as it is available. It would be remiss of me not to mention our packaging startup report, which we've recently launched. We've got 31 startup interviews, over 150 packaging startup innovations, and lots of analysis and comment. We have an early bird discount running until next Thursday, the 21st of December. So you can visit thepackup.com or take a picture of that QR code for more information. So I'd just like to thank you once again for your attention and attendance and for supporting the PackUp's webinar program in 2023. And we look forward to seeing you again next year.